What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of Couch Conversations. Today, we've got Zack Perl, a good friend of mine, an entrepreneur, a man of many, many talents, which you'll find out more about today. And I'm just super excited to jump right into it and talking about many talents. I'd love for you to explain to our audience a little bit about the brands you've built in the past, what they were, why you made them, and kind of how they got you to where you are today.
Okay. And before I dive into it, do you want me to speak to you or speak to the camera? This is a creative choice for you.
Either or.
I could do both.
Yeah.
Right? I won't speak to the camera. Speak to you. So my background, do you want me to just do a quick background?
Yeah.
Most people don't know this. I went to school for music production.
No way.
I went to school for audio engineering in Minnesota. No joke.
Sick.
After high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. A couple years went by. I realized I want to be a music producer. I want to do music, blah, 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 blah. I go to Minnesota to this school which has since closed for many reasons. One being the way the industry changed, like when it comes to music. Mm-hmm. And I went there and I'm like, I'm going to be the next Timberland. I want to make music. This is what I'm going to do. And very quickly as I was there, the industry changed from this recording studio model to you can make an album from your dorm room with a laptop. That's what Michael Posner, is that his name?
I think so.
I took a pill and it bees, that guy. He did that and it kind of changed the whole industry. People realized you don't need budgets for studios, but whatever. And all of a sudden our degrees kind of looked kind of diluted now.
Not so great, yeah.
Not so great. And everyone was sort of wondering what to do. So you had two options. You could either adapt or you can, fight the system and say it'll work out for us, which I knew it wasn't. So luckily they had Photoshop and photography as an option for like a 10-week course in school, and I took it and I fell in love with it.
Nice.
And I started to run with it, and I started doing like graphic design and photography just as a hobby. And next thing you know, I come out of school. Obviously, there's no music production jobs. There's like the same studios have the same 3 guys who've been there for 50 years. And I go back to New York City, New Jersey area where I'm from, and I just start doing photography-based work, graphic design work, worked corporate America, was doing a lot of presentation design, that kind of thing. It sucked, it wasn't fun, but it was, paying my dues, you could say. And then after a number of years, I decided I'm gonna start my own thing. And I started, I was living in a small apartment in New York City with my friend JD. And the two of us knew we were always entrepreneurs. We just didn't really know what we wanted to do yet. And I said, I'm gonna start a photography studio. And he said, I'm gonna start a whiskey company with our other friend, Chris. And we had this little tiny apartment in the East Village of Manhattan, and I decided I'm gonna we had this massive backyard in this studio, right? And I decided what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this backyard as where I'm gonna shoot content, right? Or at the time, content wasn't even a word. It was like, I'm gonna do headshots and portraits and stuff. And I decided I'll call it the backyard, which to this day is my studio, right?
Yeah.
And he started he was growing his whiskey company with my friend Chris. I was doing content for them. They were like my first clients, right? And I started to grow this company called The Backyard, which is photography, video production, Photoshop, editing, whatever was needed. And I did that for years and years and years, and it just kind of kept growing and growing. So fast forward, 10 years later, The Backyard is my main thing that I do, which is, high-end commercial photography for mostly the beverage and hospitality industry here in South Florida, but I also do products, music videos, commercial drone work, stuff like that. And it's funny, at the same time, my friend's whiskey business grew to a national brand. They're still my biggest client to this day, probably. And that's kind of led me to here. And since then, other businesses and brands have, sort of sprouted from that, all from this one change I made in college, which was to pursue content right as the content boom was happening and things like Instagram and all that was taking off. So,
which is now taking over the entire landscape.
Which is everything. And luckily, I kind of just got ahead of it. I got lucky. I could be working at Guitar Center right now doing, recording-based sales. But instead, I adapted with what happened, and it ended up being the perfect thing for me.
I don't believe in luck. I think luck is just preparation and opportunity combined.
Preparation and opportunity.
Preparation and opportunity equals luck.
Yeah.
And I wanted to dive deeper into what you were saying, how you fell in love with photography. Was there a moment when you realized that this is something that I'm passionate about? What clicked?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, there are things about it. I never went into it like I want to be a photographer. I would just, there's something about the dopamine you get from at least someone like me who constantly needs something fresh, something new to work on, right? I can't work on a project for like a year. Like I need something that's for the day or for the week or for the month, and then there's a new opportunity. It keeps me like stimulated, right?
Yeah.
So something about with a camera, I can meet somebody today who's probably in some way in their life needs content for something. It's their business, they're getting married, their kid's graduation, they're a real estate agent. There's some area where I fit in with what I do.
Totally.
So I can meet them today, we can make something together by tomorrow or next week, and I can see the results of what I did and the value it brought them immediately, and then move on to the next one. And then maybe they come back a year later with something new or they recommend me. So it's this constant fresh stream of creativity and work happening together. And it's always fresh. It's always fresh. Even just living in this building here, it's fresh, right?
Yeah, and you're always just surrounded by so many different people that do so many different things in so many different walks of life.
So I wouldn't say there was like a moment. I think it was just, I was doing something different every single week with photography, going back into like the mid 2014, 2015 time, and realized like, oh my God, I've done like a lot of stuff now in a lot of different areas. It might be time to sort of find a niche and go into one specific area. And that ended up becoming food and cocktail photography.
Which is incredible. And especially here in Fort Lauderdale, there's just so many restaurants, so many new concepts that, like you said, it's just a constant influx of new spaces opening that could definitely use something like you're offering.
It is, I find it to be the most fun and rewarding area of photography, at least for me, and for video, I should say, I do video too. It's because there's nothing better than like, some people are doing real estate, some people are doing headshots, some people are doing weddings. They all have benefits, they all have pain points, right, whatever it is. But the fact that my area of expertise is I get to show up somewhere, I get to meet the staff, meet the chef, I get to see all this amazing food they're rolling out, cocktails they're rolling out, get to try everything, get to make their stuff look good, and get to be creative. And then I get to leave and do it at another place the next day. It's almost like I'm a restaurant critic, but my job is to just make them look good, not have to critique them. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
It's fun like that.
You get all the benefits without any of the downside.
I get to go to, exactly. I get to go to a steakhouse and make the steak look good one day, and then tomorrow it's going to be tacos. And I get to just see a menu before it exists. I get to, ask the chef questions. I get to see the look on their faces when I make their food look good. Because that's usually a really hard thing to accomplish with a lot of people. It's like, they're like, our food is amazing, but no one knows that, right? And it's my job to make sure that I communicate it visually to the audience so that they get more customers to the door.
And what better way than through like Instagram, TikTok, and using that content for a way to them to push the brand out to everyone in the local area.
Absolutely.
And here, I was gonna say I'm a foodie, but I think everyone in this city is a foodie.
This is becoming a crazy food hub, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. I've been itching to find out about your new venture. I told Zach to hold off on telling me until we had this moment here, where we could actually sit down and dive deep and not only have me find out and it be my original reaction, but also give you guys a chance to hear about it too, because I know this is something that'll, knowing you, is going to come much sooner than later.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with the way you work and the amount of work that I've seen you putting in, I know it's going to be something that's incredible. So please, without further ado, let me hear it.
I feel like you know what it is already.
I feel like I was close, but...
So to give context to the viewer, to the audience, I recently discovered School, SKOOL, the platform where you can put on any, this is not a plug for School, by the way, but it is kind of at the same time, an opportunity where you can create a course and build a community and find success on there and bring value to a community on what you're an expert in, right?
100%.
So I spent, a few years ago, I was like, I want to start a course in food and cocktail photography, right? I was like, I've been doing this over 10 years. I've shot at over 1,000 restaurants. And I'm at the point now where I have so much knowledge on such a high level to this game in this area, I want to share it. So years ago, I started writing out a course, and now there's finally like a platform that makes it easy to really like execute it.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So I'm going to be releasing a course on food and cocktail photography, but it's like I got it down to everything you could ever think of in the industry, right? It's not just how to make food look good, how to photograph it, how to light it. It's everything from how to communicate with the chef and staff, how to adapt and change on site, how to deal with when the restaurant's open and there's customers, how do you work with the ambient lighting and the artwork that already exists. Obviously plating, competition, equipment choice, but down to everything, like even categories like food physics, right? Like I know that you got about 5 minutes with a cheeseburger before the cheese looks bad. I know you got about 6 minutes with a cocktail
Food physics.
before the ice melts and
like
the
that.
drink doesn't look good anymore. It starts to separate. So it's like things like your garnish is going to look bad after 5 minutes. The steam on the fajitas is going to go away soon. So now it's, you know, changing the order of what you shoot on the fly as it comes out, communicating with the chef that they need to slow down or speed up, you know, adjusting lighting as the sun is setting because that's just the time you're there, right? And on down into the minutia of what you really need to know to avoid mistakes and at the same time operate at the highest level, even down to how you're going to market yourself, like, you know, get new clients, things like that. So this course is going to be everything you need to know about getting into food and cocktail photography for the hospitality space. It's a one-stop shop to learn everything there is to know and get into the industry.
I absolutely love that, and I want to dive deeper into it and maybe even give some photographers out there some nuggets of gold while we're finding out more.
Let's do it.
And you just mentioned about how, like, the branding and the marketing. For a photographer who's new into the game, or maybe someone who would most likely be someone who'd be interested in learning more from you, do you believe that they should be branding themselves before marketing for others, or you think that market first and then build the brand as you go? How do you feel? How did you do it, and how would you feel someone new should or may find more success in doing so?
I think so. So brand comes from, like, you know, you can create your brand, but their brand is going to adapt and mold based on the work you do and the execution you have, right? So it's like if you make a video about how you're the, you know, best this or that photographer in South Florida, but your work doesn't match it and your reputation doesn't match it, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It'll break overnight. But let's say you go and just do good work at restaurant A, and then you do good work at restaurant B. And then restaurant C sees the work on restaurant A and B and goes, we want exactly your work there. And now you've done 3 different locations. They all had a good experience with you. Your portfolio has grown. Now you've kind of, that is your brand. Your brand is consistency, your style of work, showing up on time. They know what they're gonna get, right? Maybe it's also things like your affordability or your deliverables, you know, what you deliver to the client. So now all of a sudden, that's your brand, right? Kind of thing. It's sort of like when you think of Toyota and you think of Lamborghini, you think of completely different things, but they didn't go like, we're Toyota, this is us, and this is Lamborghini, this is us. No, they just made the exact thing that they wanted their customer to have, and they did it for like 100 years, right?
Totally.
And that's the brand.
And
right?
that's the brand.
That's the brand.
The brand comes along with the work,
right?
with the marketing, not the other way
exactly.
around.
So what I would say to someone, I think your question was getting into it, right? Mm-hmm. Should they build a brand first, or what?
What would be your advice for someone that's starting out?
So someone starting out is do as much work as you can, because like you're not going to walk in and just be great at it, even if you like. You got to get the reps in, right?
Totally.
You just got to get the reps in, because restaurant A is going to look different from restaurant B, and the staff at restaurant A is going to operate different than B, right? So it's like you might go into one place and it's daytime, daylight, and it's a lunch spot, and the other place is going to be dark, inside, no windows. You're going to have to work with a flash, and the chef is really on top of you with when it comes to like plating and the aesthetics, versus another place they give you full range and say, just make it look good. You're gonna have to be able to operate in both those spaces, and the only way you're gonna be good at that is by going and doing it over and over and over again. The best part is every restaurant wants this stuff. So go to the places, offer what you do. It's an hour and a half of your time, and build up the portfolio and the skills. And then all of a sudden you can be like, okay, my brand is I make dark restaurants look really good with my lighting.
Love it.
Right?
And
now market yourself as that, as opposed to just, I do all this, and then you're kind of just getting into it. Mm-hmm. You just really put in the work of different places, and the best part is it's not like it's going to take years. Like you can shoot a different restaurant every day for a month, and you'll have 30 restaurants in your portfolio by the end of the month.
So for when a photographer is starting out, obviously the most challenging thing could be leads. Do you think that like them going to these restaurants and just saying like, hey, I'll do some free work if you allow for me to take these pictures, like, is that a way for them to start building their leads that eventually can turn into paying clients? Or what do you think? Because for someone starting out who has never worked in the industry, or it might be their first ever restaurant they're working with, how do they get their foot in the door?
Right. So I would say there's 3 different ways you could go about this, and I'll tell you the way that I do that has the most, I find it has the most success rate, right? Yeah. So option A is walking in and saying, hey, I'm a photographer, I'd love to set up a shoot with you guys. And the problem with that is most of the time, the people that you're going to be speaking to there are like, hey, now's not a good time. Like, we're getting ready for shift, or, you know, we just did photos. We have someone who does social media here. They're going to give you excuses why, like, we don't want to deal with you right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's a hit or miss. And there's a lot of times where that might work out too, especially if you're offering for free. But
For sure.
we're also talking about trying to get business, right?
Yeah.
So option 2 is, there's actually 4 options. Option 2 is shoot them a DM, right? Go straight to their social media person, right? Or whoever's on that account and say like, hey, I'd love to set up a photo shoot with you guys. And the problem with that is that account is getting hit with everything. They're getting hit with, hey, do you take reservations? Hey, do you have anything gluten-free on the menu? Like, you're gonna get lost in there. And even if you get through, you gotta hope that it's somebody who wants to respond to that right away, or has an answer for that and wants to schedule with you and get back. Or you might also, there's a good chance you might be talking to the person whose job you're potentially trying to take.
Trying to take.
Right? So that's
with social media.
also really hit or miss. Now the option 3, and this is probably this is gonna eventually become your best option, but not when you're just starting out, and that is to run ads, run targeted ads showing examples of your work, saying, you know, this is Zack Perl, I'm Zack Perl, and you know, we do high-end content and photography for, you know, South Florida restaurants. If you want to make your menu look good and you want to, you know, create the style that brings customers through the door, work with us. We have a blah, blah, blah rate, and we do this, right? You know, and you have an ad that shows up on every phone at every restaurant, whatever. And then they go like, oh, I've seen your stuff. I know who you are.
I know who you are, yeah.
But
so
now you need,
when you show up,
but
familiar.
now you need the work to make that video. You need to show in that video all the work. And the only way you can do that is to first be getting in there. So that leads to the one that I think is the best. And this is how I got a lot of the restaurants here in town. I went as a guest and sat and had like lunch,
dinner, whatever,
down the street, Louis Bossi, right? And while I was there, I quietly shot the drink I was drinking and shot the food I was eating, right? I didn't make a scene out of it. I didn't bring out lights. I worked with the lighting I had there. I, you know, perfect composition, you know, knew my stuff with my camera, put it near the window, captured sort of like a few different shots of the drink, a few different shots of the food, edited it right there on the spot with my laptop, posted it, tagged them and said, hey, these are on me. Check it out. You can use them for whatever you want. Let me know if you like them and you want to shoot some more. So what happened? I ended up getting a DM from another restaurant hospitality group saying, we saw your stuff. We need that look at our place.
That's
what
awesome.
will it take, right? So it's kind of like, I'm giving you the value. Here's some free shit, really good stuff.
They'll most likely repost it, make it look.
It's free high-end content. They're gonna post it. And now either other people are gonna see it, or they're gonna be like, well, now that we have this high-end stuff posted, we kind of have to be consistent now. We can't go back to the iPhone photo.
100%.
So I just hooked them in to like high-end. Now they've seen my stuff. I gave them stuff and I asked for nothing in return. So they're almost obligated to be like, well, you know, now we kind of need more of this.
We can't go back.
And he's already kind of shown that he knows what he's doing. And they probably also got a good response on that post.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of giving them the taste up front, as opposed to telling them, hey, I'm really good, hire me sometime. It's, hey, here's some stuff that's really good, yours to use, have fun with it. You don't even have to tag me. Just keep me in mind when you guys change your menu.
100%,
Right?
which happens
4 times a year at least.
a lot.
At least.
And I think that that's probably one of the biggest superpowers that photographers have, is that once you become, your photography style becomes their online branding. It becomes what their product should, or what you normally would look like. And when someone else tries to come, like you said, maybe it's a different camera, maybe it's an iPhone, maybe they try to post a different form of, or a different style of photography.
Yeah.
It doesn't uphold the quality a lot of times of what the rest of their content is.
Right.
And it makes their branding just not fully aligned throughout
Yeah.
all their content.
Exactly.
Which
And
is so powerful.
It's huge,
And
especially to the larger hospitality groups that they care a lot about consistency and a lot about investing in content and stuff like that. You know, like a mom and pop shop, they really want it, but they just need it once to like, you know, get images so people can find out. But when you got places like the restaurant people here, or Nullheart Group, or Handcrafted Hospitality, with each one has 6 or 7 locations, and they are going hard on events every week, menu changes, this DJ's coming, book your next event with us, check out the holiday cocktails, you know, it's Tortuga, come spend it with us.
Yeah.
They need content for all this stuff, and once they get to a certain level of quality, they can't go backwards, right?
They can't go back
So
at
now
all.
you kind of have them locked in with either you or someone else of your caliber your competition. And if you can do it the best, then you don't have competition. So
100%.
That's how it is.
And I thought it was so cool how you went to Louis Bossi's and they probably reposted it on their story. And the coolest part, one, is that you made their food look incredible and they weren't picture ready, so to speak.
Yeah.
That was the meal that would normally come out to anyone. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm sure when they're really making it for the picture, they'll doll it up, but you were able to make their food look incredible just the way as it comes, which is awesome. And two, that the competition of that restaurant saw what you did for them and were like, oh, no, we need this.
Exactly.
Before they get it, in a way, right?
And that just comes from, obviously, what I'll be releasing in this course is just understanding how to work with what you got and get the best product out of it, right? Like, I'm not gonna say to the bartender, hey, I'm gonna shoot this. Do you mind like replacing this olive with a different olive? Like, they're working right now. Mm-hmm. I'm not there for a shoot. They're not there for a shoot. Last thing I'm gonna do is ask them for extra stuff. Now you're giving them extra work that they didn't sign up for.
Yeah.
So the goal is I did this without having to cause any waves. So imagine if we did put in the time and they were prepared and the bartender had their nails done and the staff had a section of the bar laid out without people in the background and the garnishes were ready to go. Now they're like, oh wow, this is what they can do with this on the fly. What can we do with everything else?
The entire product altogether.
Yeah. Or if they or with a further education on what the brand needs.
100%.
Or the marketing team.
Yeah. Which can completely evolve and shift the content. But like you said, if the content quality is already here, you're just going to be elevating it a little bit more.
Exactly. You're basically proving to them that, hey, when you're ready to do this, I'm going to be the best bet for what you bring in because it's going to be the most seamless process and you're going to be able to really have your brand conveyed through the content.
Totally. Which I think so many people will get so much value out of the course.
Yeah.
Really taking a deep dive into all of these things.
Yeah.
Because how can they prepare it better? How can you work with their team? How can you partner with them? How can you really grow those relationships and dive super deep into it? I think it's gonna be a huge value add.
100%. And that's gonna be another one of the big things is like there's a lot of things outside of just the technical photography aspect of it, right? There's things like when you walk in, this bartender probably went out last night. They probably don't want to be here. They're probably not in a good mood. Mm-hmm. Or, they don't necessarily want to be on camera. Your job is to get the shot. So it's changing the way everyone feels on this place where no one really wants to be on camera and getting them excited to be on camera, right?
Yeah.
Getting the bartender to smile and be excited about pouring this drink and having fun with it. Letting the chef know like you're in good hands, showing him some of the photos that I'm shooting so he feels confident in what's coming out so he doesn't feel like, what if my food doesn't look good, right? Your job is to not just create a good product, but to get everyone in the room confident so that they can bring their best to it, right? And that's something that's not always taught in a photography course. Sometimes it's just technical. Yeah. But there's also behavioral EQ part of the whole thing.
That's insane. And I love that you touched on all that. One of my questions I was gonna ask is, what skills matter more than just a good camera? And I think that is one of the biggest things, just like you said, like having that interpersonal skill, learning how to even get to that point of having those interpersonal skills, of how can you connect with anybody, like from any walk of life, to make them feel, like you said, excited to be there, excited to be on camera. It can also be a nerve-wracking thing to be behind camera, right?
Yeah.
You'd think it's like such a natural thing until you're behind one and then you're kind of like, oh wait, like I'm being perceived right now in a weird way. So being able to make something feel natural for someone who maybe, if they're a chef, they're most likely not spending a ton of time behind a camera. Mm-hmm. So making them feel excited to be there, making them feel comfortable that they're in good hands and be able to feel like they can perform at their best, even when they're in a new situation that they probably don't face often, is a huge value add.
Right. So like some of the first things I'll do when I walk in is, if the bartender goes like, oh, I had no idea you were going to be here today. I didn't get my nails done, because there's usually a lack of communication when it comes through the ranks. That's just the restaurant industry. I'll let her know right away. Don't worry, I can Photoshop your nails. They're going to be just fine. And then she no longer has that in her head. Oh my God, I'm going to look bad with my nails on camera. It's like, I got you. It's going to be fine. I'd let them know I edit every photo I take. So don't worry, all these things that are going to be in your head that might cause a confidence riff in a shoot, not a factor. Don't worry about it. Same thing when it comes to, like when I'm shooting, let's say there's a few people there, the talent, or it's influencers, right?
Yeah.
I let them know as I'm shooting, you guys look great, it's coming out great. Because the last thing you want is them sitting here going like, I wonder if it looks good. Let them know it looks good. Let them know, oh, you're doing great. Oh, do that again. The smile is perfect. You're super photogenic. Like you let them know and they'll get out of their head and into the mode, right?
You're building their confidence on the spot.
100%. That's my job, is to do that. It's also things like you got to remember when you said other skill sets outside of just like photography, and if you're in a room and you have the chef bringing dishes in and out, right, and you have the bartender getting ready to make the drinks at the bar, and you got 5 influencers who jobs are to cheers and take bites and hold things, and they're also on their phones. Like, you have to be able to like communicate with everybody at the same time. Make sure that all the parts are moving properly. If not, it's going to be a mess, right? So if he's bringing out food and she's got the drinks coming, and I have to pair this drink with this influencer, and she's on her phone talking to her, but we need to get the shot, right? Because there's a lot of moving parts. You
like
got to be able to lead.
You have
food physics.
A few minutes before that drink
exactly, right? Or it's you're really directing a movie. It's like a movie set, right?
Yeah.
There's so many moving parts. There's people in the background. There's people who are getting ready to sit for their meal. Oh, guys, hold on. Don't move for a second. We're just going to let them walk by. All right, ready, guys? Cheers on 3. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. All right, stay there. I move around. All right, guys. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's bring in a different set of cocktails. We're going to do green with you because you got the red dress. We'll do the martini with you with the blue dress. And you two can actually hop up for a second, take a little break. We just want to make this look like girls' night out. Guys over here. All right, now to actually match the guy with the girl. You guys are great. We're going to use this to promote Valentine's Day or date night. So now we're like, you're picturing
ideas,
what's this content going to be used for once they get it. Right? It can't just always be just people drinking. Like, what are they going to use this to promote or sell? Is it, your anniversary? Is it a birthday? Is it girls' night out? Is it singles night? Is it the new cocktail menu? Right? So it's like you're constantly having to think about what combinations of content am I shooting while navigating the moving parts of people bringing things. Hey chef, like it's going out. The food's coming out a little too fast. Can you slow it down because now we're gonna have 15 plates on the table.
Way too many food, yeah.
And it's crazy, right? That kind of thing. So, or, being able to say like, hey chef, this we need to remake this. Like, because, the cheese pull isn't gonna work, it's too dry or it's overcooked or whatever it is. He's gonna be happier that you let him know we need to remake it so that it looks good.
Yeah, then getting that
just
picture.
Do it and not speak up, and then he's just like, my shot looks terrible, or like the food looks terrible.
Yeah,
what's up,
100%. And it's so cool. I never thought of it that way. You're genuinely being like a director, a project manager. Like you're putting so many different skills all into one moment, and by being able to bring them that value of saying, I'm going to not only shoot this content for you right now, but you could have shot it in August, and you're like, this is the picture you're going to use in February to promote your Valentine's Day dinner.
And that's something that you have to educate sometimes the client on, is they're thinking in their head sometimes, oh, we have a new cocktail shoot, we have a new cocktail menu rolling out, we need to get the cocktail shot. Well, also you got to remember, like, what are these going to be used for? What else can you get out of them, right? Because what I would tell a client is, when you book the February shoot, use it to promote the March events, St. Patrick's Day. When you book the March events, March photo shoot, you're going to use that to promote new cocktails for the spring, then Memorial Day, then 4th of July, right? Then the summer stuff, then Labor Day, then Halloween stuff. Like, book it all, like you're shooting so that they have time to then take the content and use it to market for 3 weeks, a month, do targeted ads for the next month. Don't shoot stuff to promote last year, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think this is amazing, and I think that the course is going to be able to support so many people in understanding and really learning all of those different things, because those aren't things, like you said, you have like 15 years of experience in this.
Right.
Having 15 years of experience put into one place that's consumable for someone who is just starting out is the biggest head start that a lot of people will gain in their careers. Like a good friend of mine, Ronnie, he always says, like, you should learn from the mistakes of other people because life is too short for you to learn on all the mistakes. Like, learn the solution to everything, right? So by doing that, you'll have a 15-year head start compared to starting out from zero and trying to understand how to go from zero to where you are now. Diving deeper into really kind of your entrepreneurial mindset when it comes to obviously now building out this course, but in the past building your entire business of photography in the backyard, is how do you validate a business idea before like going all in?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. So I guess it's different for everybody. There's some people who are more analytical, right? They do market research. They figure out, what's missing in a space and say, I can fill that, market with this product or that service and things like that. I don't operate like that. So I operate on what am I passionate about can I do it better than everybody else? Or, you know, can I at least love what I'm doing enough where I'm gonna put in 200%, so that no matter what, it will be successful. I'll just, you know, adjust it and do it my way, right? Because there's someone who's like, I'm gonna start a napkin company.
Yeah.
Because there's 500,000 businesses that need napkins, right? All I have to do is, you know, undercut my competition by 3 cents per, you know, order,
Box,
whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And it's just A to B and B to C, and like we get it done, and it's logistics, and it's like, I can't operate like that. My thing has to be like, you know, I love content creation. How can I come up with ways to bring value to like my clients or to an area and stuff like that? Like there's no photographers here. I just do my stuff my way, or I think I might have like, you know, a skill set that's different than maybe a different photographer, and that some people might want to go with me for the way I do things, right? But this way I love what I'm doing and I get to do it every single day, and be the best at it, as opposed to just coming at it from like a what's missing in the market standpoint. This is what I'm good at. I'm going to just do this, and there will be a space for it if I do it correctly.
100%.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it makes total
Okay.
sense. I think a huge thing for a lot of people as well is, I loved what you said about how, am I the best who can do this? And if I'm not the best, will I give it my 200% so that you outwork those people who
Exactly.
may have been perfect, like way better than you for a specific role, but because of the amount of like drive and passion
Yeah.
and work that you put into it, you'll always outgun them in a sense, because you're the one who's putting in the work.
Yeah.
You're not an ideas guy, you're an execution guy.
Yeah,
As
and
much as you are an ideas guy, because
definitely an
you're
ideas
always
guy.
coming up with ideas.
I'm definitely an ideas guy, and that's
but
the other
you
thing is
execute, which is the difference.
I'm fine losing to my competition. It means that I need to work on something. You know what I mean? Like, if it's all coming to me, then it's like I'm coasting. But if it's like, oh man, like my clients are going with a different direction. Oh wow, they're doing time-lapse drone stuff for their restaurants. I need to learn time-lapse drone stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the beautiful thing about competition. There's like this great, there's this movie called Burnt with Bradley Cooper, where he's like this hotshot chef, and he's kind of like a mess. He's like an alcoholic, he's like a party guy, but he's like the best, right? But the problem is he's like his competition, he's always going at it with his competition. His competition one day tells him like, we need you because you lead us to places that we wouldn't otherwise go. You know, like we hate you, but like we need you,
Yeah.
right? And I love that. Like I love that there's this constant, you know, when it comes to creativity, you can't just be cheaper to get hired. Like you gotta bring something new and different and adapt, right? Like I can't just be a cheaper photographer and they'll hire me. Like I gotta bring more value or do something different or have a look to my editing that someone else doesn't do. Like they want the way Zach's work looks.
Yeah.
If not, they would just go to the first person on Google. You know what I mean? And
No, 100%,
hire
and
them.
it's not going to be the same. What are you going to do differently in your course than anything you've seen previously?
Okay.
How will you differentiate yourself?
Okay, so besides hitting this angle of food and cocktail photography from not just a technical what to use, you know, how to light and how to, you know, what kind of camera to buy, but more about communicating with the chef, you know, how to navigate creative shots, how to work with talent, like things like that you wouldn't necessarily think of. The way I want it to be, because I've seen on school, there's a lot of different ways to do this. You could just have slides, you could speak to the camera, you can show footage, you could do B-roll, right? What I want to do is, it's going to be broken up into 2 different segments back and forth. Me in the studio speaking to the camera, explaining, right? Explaining like everyone else would do. Hey, this is advice, this is what you should do, this is what I find works, make sure you try this out, remember to keep this in mind. And then it's going to cut to me on set or at the restaurant. But the difference of how I'm going to do me in the field being shot, instead of having someone with me filming me shooting, filming me moving the plate, filming me raising the light stand, I'm going to go with the meta glasses.
Nice.
So what will happen is you'll see everything I'm doing from how I see the shot, how I move the plate, how I adjust things, how I shoot, the angle I shoot, watching how I lift the light and how I angle it, how I change the settings, even down to the chef. Like maybe the chef comes out and it's like, hey, what's going on, chef? Hey, look, it's moving a little too fast. If we can bring it to like 5 minutes a dish instead of 3, that'd be great. Watching me communicate to the talent. Hey, do you mind stepping over there for a second? We're gonna have the 3 of you there. Let's get the cheers together, hands together, a little lower so we don't block your face. You're gonna see the first person view of what I see. So as I explain what to do and how to do it, instead of like seeing a different angle of it, right?
Saying what you're doing,
It's literally, so the best part and one section I'm going to talk about, and where I think this is really going to come in good, is you'll see as I walk into the restaurant how I go, okay, so we've got light over there that I don't want on the shot, and we've got a screen over there that I don't want on the shot, but that's a great texture, and I want to remove that reflection, but that's a good shot here with the ambient light using the tungsten bulbs from the ceiling. So I could say, okay, so I think I'm going to start with this shot over there, and a shot there, and then I'm going to have this angle here. And they'll see, as I explain it, what I'm explaining, as opposed to having to think of it and then see the end product. They can see the journey as if
they see the journey. Even
maybe like I go live to the whole shoot, and you'll see the hour I'm there. You could follow along as I communicate with the talent, as I light the shot. As we go, you're gonna drop the ice cube in. We're gonna get the splash. Ready? 1, 2, hold. 1, 2, 3, go. Drop. Oh, we didn't get it. Let's do it one more time.
Again.
One more time. Bring it up a little bit higher. I want you to remember to smile. Okay? Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. We got it. We got it.
Boom.
And to see that moment, to see the happiness, to see how I communicated about how to do it, how I encouraged them, or maybe how I needed to lower something, or I was like, can you move over just a little bit? They're going to see what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So it's like when they're on location, they can now remember what they saw and go, okay, natural light, ambient light, screens here, tungsten bulbs here, glossy surface on the bar versus matte surface on a table, chef in the background, we want to make sure that he moves. Like, they're going to see what I'm seeing, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
On a completely different level,
and then for all you know, next thing you know, Meta partners with us.
That would be huge. Cool. That would be huge.
But who else is using Meta to like take you through, like, you know,
like teaching? Not only, yeah. I think I was talking with Danny Cavs,
yeah,
the man, the myth, the legend, and I think we were also talking about kind of what he does through his courses and how he supports people. And a thing that came to my mind is that one of the biggest value adds, or something that I would love to see, is like, of course it's great to learn and understand how to do things, right? Mm-hmm. But being able to actually see it play out in real time and being able to see how those interactions are with people. Because you can say like, oh, if they're nervous, like how do you make them happy? Oh, you should just try to do this, this, and this. Mm-hmm. But until you actually see it and see the way that you act, the way that you speak, the way that you talk to them, the way that you interact with each person, because each person is different, right? That is going to be huge, because you're not just explaining how to do something, you're showing them a real life way of it happening, right? And that's, at least for me, everyone learns differently. For me, seeing it happen in real life, seeing the way you maneuver a natural situation, not just a concept of a situation, is I'll be studying that real life footage. I won't be studying. I'll listen and I'll learn through what you teach me, but where I'll really gain the most is seeing it happen live, seeing it happen in real life.
So, and I should say also, so like the third part, so it's me on camera. It's me in point of view of what I'm seeing as problems come about, as decisions are made, as you know, aesthetics of a room change, or like it's, you know, I'm gonna go, oh wow, like the sun's really coming through the windows now, I'm gonna have to adjust. So now it's on camera, it's in the field, seeing what I'm seeing, and then finally, obviously, it'll be follow me along as I edit these images, right? Mm-hmm. And now you're watching my screen as I brighten up the mint on the garnish, or how to fix, like, you know, something that was on the plate, like a little sauce that got off to the side. I'm gonna show you, I use this tool to edit this, I use this to get that color. Sometimes I'll remove this from the image, or I'll enhance it with this. I brighten the eyes of the person who's sipping the cocktail. Like, I'm gonna take you through how I do that. That'll be its own, who knows how many reoccurring lessons of, we're gonna edit this drink, we're gonna edit this food, you know, follow along, let's see how many I could do in 5 minutes. This is like a cool little trick on using the Dodge tool on how to brighten the exposure of the color of the drink through the glass. Let's remove the droplets from the table that spilled next, like all of that. So now it's, and you know, I know that you can also do challenges and homework and stuff like that for people. So it's me on camera explaining, it's me in the field doing what I'm saying and adapting, and then it's me showing you the end product.
I love it.
I think it's gonna be a good course.
That's gonna be insane. Yeah, and like you said, you're doing it very differently than anyone, at least I've seen do it before, which I think you're giving them the most value for any type of learner, not just one learner. And I think that's where like schools nowadays really fail, is they're built to teach one learning style where every single person learns differently. So you're kind of giving them the most amount of different ways that they can understand a concept and actually learn how to execute it properly, but not just from one angle, from almost all of them, which is huge.
I'm trying to offer every single version of of teaching where it be explanation, visual, and then follow along. So it's like, there's something for everybody. Like maybe you're taking the course just because you want the editing. Maybe you're coming because you just want to watch and listen to my advice. Maybe you just want to watch me shooting at a you know, you don't even want to learn photography. You just like seeing what it's like through the view of the photographer when they go on set and they have to work with 19 different things happening at once and seeing the food come out.
And those things that you learn of like how to deal with 19 different things happening at once, those are lessons that can apply to a lot of things in life, right?
Yes.
Not just photography.
Yes.
You could be working in corporate America, and that can be seeing the way that you maneuver and talk to people and work with people can be a lesson that's very important for them to learn as well, right? So it touches upon a ton of different industries, even when it's specifically photography.
100%.
All right, this is a new one. I haven't done this before. We're gonna do some rapid fire questions.
Let's do it.
To wrap it up. The last question you can take a little bit longer on, but the first few, 1 sentence question, 1 sentence answer. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. One skill everyone should learn in their 20s.
Like being a waiter or a bartender or a busboy or a barback. Hospitality, serving, basically.
I love it. Biggest mistake creatives make with money.
Thinking that expensive equipment means better outcome.
Advice for someone scared to start.
You can always shoot something and not put it out. Just go do it.
A belief you had to unlearn to grow.
That anyone really cares to judge what you're doing. And we tend to think that like we're being watched and our stuff's being judged when most of the time it's just do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Just do it for yourself. Like if you enjoy it and you're having fun, then that's enough.
I love it. And then you can do more than a sentence for this one. What does success mean to you now?
Success means to me now, so versus what it used to be or just what it is now?
Let's do what it used to be and what it is now.
What it used to be was, can I accumulate all the things that I think are cool and want in this life, right? Now, knowing more about myself, it's, can I just do the few things that I really love and enjoy with the people I love and enjoy, right? I noticed that my best days are days if I could just go to the gym, if I can eat good food, I can hang out with the people I like and laugh, if I could drink coffee, if I could do something creative. Like that's all I need to have a great day, right? Like I don't need to have, and nothing crazy has to happen for me to have a great day. And I used to need that. Like I used to have to rev the engine, the dopamine engine, all the way up to like, and I'd still not necessarily have a great day. But now it's like I realized the 5 things that make me happy, and as long as I could do those every day, I'm like, I'm cool doing this forever. At least until my brain decides like, hey, it's not enough anymore, or you need a change, because people change.
Yeah,
but for right now, man, if I could do those 5 things, I'm successful. I got it.
You made it.
Yeah, we're good. Like I got my dream car right now. It's a 2017 Jeep Wrangler, bro. I don't need a Porsche. You know, I don't want a house with a giant pool. Man, I love living in this building. I can go to the pool anytime I want here, and I can use the gym here, and I see my friends. Like, there's nothing right now that I want. I have it all.
You have it.
So am I not successful?
You made it.
I made it.